Having 12 kids is a trauma response by Nick Cannon. All right, main event. All right, so we got Stefan Diggs. We talked about him, but we do want to talk about this guy named Nick Cannon. You guys know him as a celebrity, Nick Cannon. There's a lot. Shout out to Nick Cannon. No disrespect on anything that we're going to say. We're going to use your experience as a learning experience. And Nick Cannon is this guy right here. He's an entertainer, actor, rapper, multi-millionaire, developed the billionaire business, also is the ex-husband of Mariah Carey. Now, in my opinion, no disrespect, because I know these celebrities and these celebrity hanger-oners watch me, so I don't want the word to get back that I be dissing guys like this. I have to be careful since I'm internationally known to an extent, right? These men can happen upon my stream, especially when they see themselves on the thumbnail. I believe Nick Cannon has been traumatized. I think he suffers from arrested development, typically around, these liberal men, these actors and entertainers. To me, they come across as weirdos, right? And that's because I grew up in Southern California around these guys. They are putting on an act for the public, but then behind the scenes, they're different. So that develops a little bit of a, what they call a, I can't remember what they call it, but it's what social media people exist. What happens is they have a character that they're putting out to the world, and it conflicts with their real character in life. So Nick Cannon has always suffered from this as a child actor, where what'll happen is, as a child actor, they're like clean, prim, and proper, right? Behind the scenes, they're a gang member, right? They smoke dope. They're a gang member. Like, a lot of guys will have this conflicted life, right? Where they come from LA and they'll say, well, I hung around with the Bloods and the Crips. But then imposter syndrome. But then in the world, they're portrayed as a nice guy, a geek, a nerd, a lame. They read their script. You know what I mean? Like, as an actor, you have to have some sort of discipline to be able to be selected as an actor. You got to read scripts. You got to memorize lines. You got to show up on set on time. You can't be showing up like a gangster. You can't be showing up like a gangster. So this is a conflicting image where they try to hold both, because people will just think he's a nerd. You some nerd guy. So then they got to go back and be like, I was in the gang. We see this with Ray J, Arrested Development, where he's a good kid. He was brought up in a good family, but then he will talk about, I was led astray. I was part of the Bloods and the Crips, right? But then you were an actor. Your sister was a Grammy award-winning singer. You know what I mean? So what happened is niggas, because niggerism, the hood guy is the top square of the pyramid. So no matter how successful you are, you got to go back to the top of the pyramid. John Morant, Chris Brown, they all suffer from niggerism. All right? They all suffer from niggerism.
The real problem is niggerism. That's the real problem.
So this is a conflicting situation. It's an imposter syndrome. So you'll see them go back and forth with this, and they'll do this for years. Will Smith suffered from this. Will Smith suffered from this, right? He was a good, clean image guy. Then all of a sudden, let me go back to the hood and I'm cool, right? And they'll be over intelligent. They'll be so intelligent. I believe Nick Cannon is really a smart guy, but he's so smart, he outsmarts himself, right? So he's so smart, he outsmarts himself. Will Smith, he's so smart, but he outsmarts himself. So what happens is they have a conflicted interest, and then they're fearing they're going to get exposed as a fake or a lame or a fake gangster. So they got to play both sides of the fence. So this is what I believe, suffer from. This is what he's going to kind of admit, right? And so there he is right there, smiling, cheesing with a whole Kool-Aid smile. But then he'll tell you in the next interview he's a gangster. And he grew up around the Crips and the Bloods. And there he is, kind of drawing the same feminine hairstyle that gang members tend to wear, because jail and prison. And the feminization of the black male, right? I'm going to wear this gang member's haircut, but it's really a woman's haircut. All right. So you see this here, right here. So it's a two-edged sword here. And then also he's the married guy. So he's married to Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey makes more money on paper, and she's seen as the alpha. And he even says this actually ruined his marriage with Mariah Carey. And I'm going to give you some proof of this. So not only are you the masculine gang member, but you're up under the wing of a woman, a R&B diva. Like, how gangster can you be? How gangster can you be when you're under the thumb and wing of a woman? Okay, let me see here. I'm going to show you this data. I actually did a show on this where he said this ruined his marriage. All right, hold on for a second. I think we have a video playing here. Just breaking this down. I have to break this down for us. All right, for some reason, it's hard for me to find, but I've done a show on it. Just trust me on this one. All right, trust me on this one. He said it ruined his marriage. All right, let's see here. So when this woman's telling you what to do and you're kowtowing her and you're feeding her grapes and she makes more than you, he even said that she was the alpha. It made him want to go make his own money. All right, is this the article that I was going to reference? Here it is right here. Let me see here. Is this the one? Honestly, I think Nick and I would have worked it out between us, but our egos and emotions got inflamed. It was tough. We both wanted to make sure everyone was cool in the family. Okay, that wasn't the article I was going to address. All right, so we're talking about traumatizing here. So there he is right there. And he was much younger than her, right? So it was hard for him to be the one carrying the purse and the diaper bag and this, but that tended to be his role. And some guys like that role. He said it drove him to madness to become a millionaire and filthy rich. Okay. So we have that. We have that, Nick Cannon. So we have the successful businessman, the successful actor, rapper. Okay. He was successful as a rapper. I will give him that. All right. He wasn't a top rapper of all time, but he did decently. He was able to marry a very attractive, successful woman and still end up traumatized at the end. So traumatized that he was willing to have 12 babies by 6 women. That includes Mariah Carey's 2, but the 10 other children came in a short window, right? It came in about a 2 or 3 year time span. And one of the reasons why is that he did have lupus, all right? So he did think that he had a mortality issue. And so maybe he was trying to beat that by staying a little bit more relevant in what we call immortal, all right? Being able to have as many kids as you can have in a sense so you can beat this mortality issue, right? You're successful, you had everything, but now, okay, you could die. So that could have been part of it. There's trauma related to that. You see the end of your life potentially. So there's trauma. Then you have this, and this is what happens. You have then people calling him irresponsible for having all these babies, okay, which I'm conflicted with. I'm conflicted with this because I think men should have as many babies as they want and desire, right? It shouldn't be just restricted based on, what society thinks and what, women think. So if your wife says, I only want to have one kid, have the one kid with her and divorce her fucking ass when she don't want to have more. You want to have 5. But men will be like, well, she only wants to have 1, and you'll stick there and suffer through in vitro fertilization, right? And she can barely have 1. She's determining how your legacy is to go. But I believe that men should be able to, as long as they can afford it, have as many kids as they want. And maybe not in the United States. If you want to have 5 or 6 kids, go somewhere else. All right, so this is Nick Cannon with, I can't remember this woman's name. She was a podcaster. Make more money, darling. Bobby Altoff. Bobby Altoff is her name.
I'm not going to say what race, what people. We know I can't say that.
And it says Nick Cannon struggles to remember 12 of its kids' names.
What are their names?
You want all 12?
12 names. Go.
All right. This is where I usually get in trouble.
Why? Because you don't know all of them.
I know all of them, but
Okay.
all right, well, here we go. I'll label it off for you. See, let's keep me honest. There's Rock, Row, Golden, Powerful, Rise, Onyx, Legendary, Zion, Zillion, Zen, and see, this is where
Uh-oh.
how many?
You're missing 2.
I'm missing 2.
Oh. All right, men are saying he's taking care of them, but he doesn't remember their names. All right, no, that's not gonna work. That's not taking care of him.
Gotcha, bitch.
All right, he take care of his kids though, but can't remember their names. That's bad. Lil Boosie can remember all his kids' names. All right, Lil Boosie can't remember kids' names, but Nick Cannon, not so much. And by the way, let's go back to these kids' names. All right, let's go back to these kids' names for a minute. We're going to look at the children's names. All right, and by the way, we can talk about his children's names. They have been published, and he just named them off. So, yes, we're going to name them as well. And that's going to tell you a lot as well. All right, what kind of names are we having for these children? All right, we do have the kids' names here. All right, my articles got reset, so give me a second here. All right. Let me see here. And I normally don't talk about kids' names and stuff like this, but this is relevant to the story, and he just named them. So the children that he has, we have Moroccan and Monroe. Those are the girl twins from Mariah Carey. We have Golden, Powerful, Rise. We have two with we're going to talk about the baby mama's names in a minute. We have Zion and Zillion, and we have Beautiful, and we have Legendary and Onyx. All right, those are the ones. I don't know which ones he missed, but I don't know. These are easy names to remember, and he couldn't remember them. I mean, he doesn't. Yeah, he takes care of them right there. He takes care of them, though, sends the money. There's no way you can be that present in life. And that's what he's being criticized for, because he's not as present in their lives. But I think for men being present in kids' lives is being taken out of control. Like, it doesn't, like, men should not be required to be that present in kids' lives. I don't think a man needs to be daily in a kid's life like that. That's just me. All right. The idea that I got to be there as much as the mother. I think that's feminist propaganda. And that sets men up for failure, because you want the man there, but you want him to be a provider. You can't have it both ways. And that's where men get pigeonholed. That's where you get stuck. And you think, well, if I'm there more, I'll win. No, you're going to lose. Because eventually the money is going to need to be there. What's going to happen? Because is she going to carry the weight of the family? Typically, women aren't carrying the weight. Only 30% of households are breadwinner females. So it is tough for men to balance the two. All right. And then you will find out that if you are able to balance the two, you just took 2 decades out of your life where you are not at your peak in terms of earning potential. And you take the divorce rate in there, it is very tough for a man to be there every day for their kids. I don't even think it's a requirement. I just don't think it's a requirement. I think women, on the other hand, yes. I don't think a man needs to be there every day talking to their kid. He could check in and that type of thing, but yes. So that means the men can then have more kids. And then if he has more women or one woman to raise those kids, the kids will be better off. But that's another conversation. Going into it, let's talk about the mothers of these children. Before we get into him and his spiel about what he is going to credit for him having the babies, we're going to look at the mothers of these children, okay? Because this is important. Because then you say he takes care of his kids, but let's take a look at the mothers of the children, the women that he selected to mother these children. And let's see what their outcomes are. This is important. Okay, let's start with the first one. The first woman is Mariah Carey. All right, so we know that they were married almost a decade or so, and they produced 2 children. They ended up in a divorce. Now, this wasn't a bad deal, but, she would have been a tough person to marry. In fact, she's only had 2 men marry her, as successful as she's been. All right, she had Tommy Mottola, who he was abusive, and he was in his 30s or late 30s, and she was a teenager when they married. All right, so that was very early on, and that's how she got her record deal, was through the Sony, and I can't say his name too many times because Michael Jackson. All right, Tommy Mottola was a record executive, and he put her on as a teenager, and then he married her. All right, I don't think they produced kids, but she said it was a toxic marriage. And then she then married Nick Cannon. All right, so by the time she married Nick Cannon, she had been in the industry for 15 or 20 years, and she was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs at that particular point. All right, and I did see her perform in Las Vegas. She did do a good show, even though she's not a dancer or a singer. Okay, she actually had a good show for a woman that just stands there and sings. All right, so I'll give her credit.
The Money Mindset 2025.
Join us if you are looking to elevate your mindset to the next level and get your financial information and game back
to where it needs to be. This is the blue chip mindset on steroids. We have 80 plus episodes from the last 2 years that you missed available via playback. You can get all of those episodes. Also, every live stream on Sunday night with all of our great contributors with subjects, cryptocurrency, investment, money 101, money 201. Also, if you're looking to become a social media content creator, this is the group for you. 2 times a month, we give you content creator information about how much money you can make via content creation. What are the most popular forms of content creation coming forward in the next few years, and how you can capitalize on an opportunity to be a content creator. Join patreon.com/Coach Greg Adams to find the money mindset link. Let's get our blue chip mindset on. The window is still open.
I give her credit for being a good performer. I don't want to put no shade on her. All right, but let's go back to the next baby mama, and this woman's name is Bree. Right, there she is. Shout out to Bree right here. No shade to her either.
Where the white women at?
All right, this is Bree. Bree is one of the baby moms, and there she is with Nick Cannon right there. And there she is with Nick Cannon there. All right, featured very prominently on her Instagram. There she is with Nick Cannon there, taking care of the one kid that they have. So she is featuring him very prominently on her Instagram. Another thing about Bree is that she been in the industry chick for a long time. So this is also Bree with Hulk Hogan's son. Okay. And as you can see, this was her as a teenager with Hulk Hogan's son. She had also been in the industry and as a model and all of that. So by the time Nick Cannon shows up and offers her an opportunity to have a baby, all right, and invest in her plastic surgery, this is her years later. Now take a look at the two. She's not Hispanic. She is definitely a white girl. All right, but she just has a lot of surgery and a lot of tanning. So people say she looks Hispanic, but that's a whole white girl, just so you know. All right, and so she looks really, really different, but she's been in the industry many, many years. Okay, she's been with industry guys many years, but that money that Nick Cannon is supporting his children is definitely going into her looks cosmetically, and she basically got the Kim Kardashian, and she got the body done too. All right, goodness gracious, she definitely
the humanity.
All right, she definitely got the body done, so we see where the money is going. All right, and the implant, yeah, man, that is a completely different woman, and there she is. She actually wants to be Nick Cannon's girlfriend, I believe. All right, and judging from some research that I've done, it apparently is that she has exhibited levels of jealousy. Bree TZ reveals when she gets jealous amid Nick Cannon's relationship. All right, it says right there, she is the, right there, they have a 2-year-old. That's the writing of this article here. But they say right here, I think I've gotten jealous about holidays. Noting that holidays are hard to navigate through when Nick has to split time with all 12 of his children and their respective 5 moms. I'd be like, okay, well, if you're going to do this, can you take the child? Say they go on a trip and I'm like, well, that would have been nice. You could have just brought your other son, my son, with you guys on the trip. All right, so as you can see, he takes care of his women. But of course, guys, this is a dumpster fire. This is out of control. This is a grease fire. So you have the reality that the women accepted their position, but still you can't control women's emotions. You got a jealous woman, but she knew what she signed up for. You knew he was going to have 11 kids. I don't think she was even the second or third mom. But now she's still expressing jealousy. There she is. She wants a relationship with him. You see that? He's prominently featured there. But you got to remember, in an industry in a minute. All right. And he's got to hold her back. And he's probably experiencing a lot of pressure from this woman, right? She putting pressure on him. Be the father to your child. I don't think the other women are. You can see that. She's the only one that prominently features him in the photos. All right. Quite prominently. And she got her feet out right here. Okay. She want to be the main. She doesn't want to be, she don't want to be just one of the baby moms. All right. So we see that. And a lot of these guys will say these Instagram whores, they can't get this, they can't get this. If you didn't know this was Nick Cannon's baby mom, you would have had no clue. She would just look like a regular IG model trying to get put on. All right, so that's baby mama number 2, but not in that order. All right, let's go to the next baby mom, and her name is, this is the one, Mrs. Bell. All right, let's go to her page and do some research. All right, this is Bell. All right. So this is her page right here. There's her with 2 children. If I'm not mistaken, he has 2 children with her, possibly. Well, there's 3 children there. I don't think he has 3. But there she is. Right there. Looking like a regular model, right? Looking like a regular IG girl. But she has the baby. She's the baby mama of Nick Cannon. All right, I don't know much about her there, but I'm pretty sure her page says she's an entrepreneur. Click link in the bio and so forth and so on. All right, and she's put together well. Nice little mulatto, long legs. Volunteer. All right, a volunteer. Now let's go to the next woman here. The next woman here is named, this is the De La Rosa chick. This is the De La Rosa chick. All right, so this is the De La Rosa chick coming up here. And there she is with the Nick Cannon picture right there. But there she is looking like Christina Mackey right here. We definitely have the lips and all of this stuff right there. She's a DJ too. She's like, I want to be a DJ. Okay. And again, looking like a woman that you would not known if that was Nick Cannon's baby mom. You wouldn't even know. You'd be like, who is this woman? She Instagram thought. Okay. But there's Nick Cannon right there. With the 2 children. There he is being a good father. Shout out to Nick Cannon, too, on this one. All right, but, you know, she's nipped and tucked and surgically implanted and this and that. She doesn't feature another man, and it looks like she possibly might want to be the main. All right, she possibly might want to be the main. So, you know, we can't really tell. Right there. There's the family portrait. All right, so he is spreading himself quite thin, right? Like, he is around. So shout out to Nick Cannon for being around, but we're going to see what he actually sums up these type of relationships right here. There he is around. He's there. So Nick is really working hard to maintain these relationships. All right, so the next woman is the woman that goes by. This is the woman named Alyssa right here. She has a link tree, Alyssa Scott. All right, so this is Alyssa Scott. She looks to be white to me, but that's neither here nor there. And skinny, right? Blonde, yep, implanted, nipped and tucked. Volunteer. I don't see Nick Cannon on the page as much. We do see the children. All right, we got a flat back. Definitely got the flat backs out. Jessica Rabbit. All right, model type. And so forth and so on. And listen, if he did this and he knowingly did this and he accepted it, that's one thing. And we assume that he accepted it. But when you hear his reason why he did it, he's kind of backing away from it, which is sad. All right. Damn, don't back away from it. That's irresponsible if you're backing away from it. So that's the woman here. I don't see another man featured on her profile, but we see her backstage, underage adolescents. All right, with the drug, by the way, this car she's sitting next to is a drug dealer car. Not that she has access to it. She's just taking a picture next to it. But the streets were wild back in the 90s, bruh. This is definitely 1991 brick cell phone drug dealer car. All right.
In these streets.
Last one. The last baby mama is a woman named, looks like Anisha Cole. All right. Anisha Cole looks to be racially ambiguous. All right, racially ambiguous. But we can't tell what she is, but she definitely has a man. So this is the only one that is featured. It seems maybe another man that she's in a relationship with. So we know that this guy is with the baby mother of Nick Cannon. All right, so there she is right there. She's prominently featured him a couple times. So it seems, and it looks like they have had a child recently, or there's a pin post there. 2024. He definitely is not showing all his teeth, but he is happy to be with her, and she's happy to have seemingly moved on from Nick Cannon. All right, where she's not featured to him prominently. And there he is being a stepdad type of shit right there. Shout out to him. No, hey, listen, I'm just doing the review here. And that looks to be Nick Cannon's child right there. There's him being a stepdad right there. He's the That's You guy for sure. He's the cleanup guy and all of that.
And that's you.
And again, you wouldn't have known that she was with Nick Cannon either. You would just think, who is this woman, right? And who is this married couple? But she hasn't featured Nick Cannon at all. She features the child, but not Nick. So she seemingly have moved on in relationship to this right there. That looks like Nick Cannon's baby for sure. Okay. All right, so you see what's going on here. All right, so shout out to the people here. But here's the update. Here's the update on this one. We known this for years, and we assumed Nick Cannon was just being Genghis Khan. But now, because Nick Cannon is one of these overthinkers, Nick Cannon now explains why he did this. And I think now it's foolish. All right, so let me go to the clip. Hollywood Unlocked has it, but it was on The Breakfast Club. This is Nick Cannon admitting having 12 kids was a trauma response. Uh-oh. Why couldn't he just say, I was on my man shit? I did this. I chose to do it. It was healthy for me to do it. I wanted to do it. I wanted to have a tribe. I wanted to build a legacy. I wanted to be King the Conqueror. But now he's backing away. Oh man, this ain't good, guys. This ain't good. So let me go ahead and read, and then let's go ahead and get the clip played, and then we'll play and look at the response there. And boy, does he look worn out. All right, so this is the current picture of Nick Cannon, and like I said, he looks tired. All right, he takes care of his kids, but something's going on here. We know he has the lupus. Hopefully he gets over that. But he looked like he has aged 10 years. And gentlemen, you wonder why I have a gray beard? I have a gray beard because I have 2 kids and they're both raised to be adults. But now he's realizing it's tap dance time. Okay, let's hear what he has to say about this. And yes, he is not advocating for this particular thing. All right, here we go.
I think having all those kids was a response to your trauma.
Yeah, 100. Now I'm learning that now. Yeah, and it wasn't like I was acting out. It was more of being careless, being frivolous with my process because I could do it, because I had the money, because I had the access to whoever and however I wanted to move, and okay, they coming at me, they asking me, opposed to like doing a mature thing and saying, hey, well, it probably makes more sense to do this, and then obviously life happens as well. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna go have 12 kids. It was more about like, yo, I'm gonna just live life and have fun, and whatever happens, I can handle it. When it probably, being almost 45 now, I can sit back and be like, yeah, if I would have thought the process through a little bit more and took time to actually do the inner work, things might have been a little different in certain scenarios.
I can do some shuffling too. Look out, man, what you gonna do? Look out, boys, it's coming through. Yeah, man, yeah, man.
Bruh. See, this is what I don't want to hear from Nick Cannon. When I told you these guys have delayed adolescence, when they don't mature, they hit their peak, but, they're famous. They seem like they're maturing, but they're not. He's admitting this, and he's also trying to play the advocate because, people have criticized him for it. So he's advocating for his constituency, which is mostly women, right? Oh, it wasn't responsible. Had I thought it through and... All right, bruh. What the hell? This is not responsible. Oh my God, no way. This is not being a responsible man. For people that was saying he was being responsible and he could take care of them, this answer lacks responsibility. Oh, I was going through something and the women were throwing me the pussy and I had the money and I figured I can do it and I thought I would be dead in 5 years, but I'm still alive. And, had I thought it through. So anybody that has defended Nick Cannon, okay, because there's men that have defended him, I have to say, you've been played. All right, you've been played. He played you, and look. New world order. Look, he playing y'all. Because now he's trying to shuffle it backwards. Now, a lot of men probably said, hey, shit, if Nick Cannon could do it, I can do it. I got the money, I can do it. And look at these niggas getting dragged for child support. Like, come on, man. I wonder what trauma he's talking about. I can only assume, but I can't really play the Breakfast Club interview. But this is not what you want to hear from a guy who willingly chose to do it. He sounds like a woman. This sounds like what women would say, right? And now we throwing out therapeutic terms like I was trauma response. But many of you guys defended him in doing this, and he should be able to do it. He could take care of his kids, and he could afford it. But now he's running backwards, saying that the women, he had available women, and they asked him to have a kid. So what the hell? I can go ahead and do it. This is not claiming responsibility. This is telling me it's eating at him and it's wearing his ass out. So we saw that he's spreading himself thin, trying to have balanced relationships. Also, we know at least 1 or 2 or 3 of these women want a real relationship with him. I would say at least 2 of them do. They have them prominently featured on their Instagram. One woman says, yes, I'm quite jealous of his relationship with his other family members, his other children. Is that eating away at him? Yes, sir. You better believe it. Those 2 women that really want him are not letting this easy. Is not letting him handle this very easily, I should say, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, they're not letting him get off that easy. Not only that, he has custody of Mariah Carey's kids. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is not what you would want to have heard from Nick Cannon in making this decision 5-10 years down the line. These kids ain't even 10 years old. The only kids that are 10, I think, are Mariah Carey. And Mariah Carey probably wants them back. Mariah Carey will take them back. So Mariah Carey putting pressure, right, on him. This is wearing his ass out. This is what the Bible warned you about. This is what I've warned you about. When you have multiple women, trust me, guys, they're going to wear your ass out. There's a tax. There's a cost to it. Women aren't free. Women are not free. They will wear your ass out. They will send you to an early grave. They will age you. The more women you're talking to. Now, I know, man, we all want multiple women and we want to have poly and this and that. But in America, where the onus is on him to be a successful man and financially support his kids, but he's got to be at every birthday party. He's got to remember every one of their names. He's got to remember every one of their birthdays. He's got to be present. He's got to have women say, why didn't you take us on vacation? Wearing his ass out. And now he backpedaling. Maybe if I would have thought it through. Hell nah. All right, let me play the rest.
You wouldn't have 12 kids.
I don't know. You know what I mean?
All right, anybody that has ever defended Nick Cannon, this is not what you want to hear. This is doomsday. Well, I don't know. You don't know? Nah, man, stand on this motherfucker, man. Stand on business. Stand on business, Nick. If you want me to defend you as a father who is doing his best to be a part of these kids' lives and that you remember them, I know you remember your kids' names. But this is a backpedal. The women are gonna eat this up. This makes it harder for men to say they want poly and they want multiple wives and they can handle it and they got enough money. This is him admitting that this was a bad deal. And the women are not going to forget it. So this is a bad deal. I don't care if he's trying to placate to his audience. This is bad. Who's next? Cam Newton? All right. Is Cam Newton going to backpedal next? All right. Because now, Jesus, wowzers.
Like that's the only thing, because I've always said this, every child that I had was made out of love, and there were strong relationships. It's just, if I would have did the work and the healing after getting divorced, I probably would have took my time in a lot of other scenarios.
Has the modern dating landscape confused you? Have many of the standards that you heard you're kind of tired of hearing about, and you're wondering, what does it all mean? Well, look no further. Join us talking about the monetized dating marketplace right now on Locals, and it is CoachGregAdams.locals.com. You can create a free account to join the conversation between the Coach Gang members, but also on Sunday, we do a live stream demonstrating all aspects of the monetized dating marketplace. And coming soon in 2025, you're going to have access to a sample of the monetized dating marketplace course where you can get information related to how to participate in the monetized dating marketplace and or how to understand it, so you're not out here spinning your wheels trying to figure out how you're going to best deal with the monetized dating marketplace. Listen, everything and every aspect of dating is monetized. We just want to relieve the frustration that you might have about it. So the best way to do it is make a free account right there on Locals, CoachGregAdams.locals.com. You can get access to those live streams, but create a free account. Just join the conversation. I am the only one covering this conversation from this point of view. And yes, I am ahead of my time. Get ahead of the information before you're priced out.
What?
I wish a nigga would.
Okay. You hear what this is? This is New World Order propaganda against you guys doing this. He's fell for it.
New World Order.
But really, his experience could tell us he getting worn down, bro. He can't handle this. He cannot handle being spread this thin. So the reality of it is really hitting him. And I think most of these kids were born between 2022 and 2024, 25, right? So yeah, it sounds like a good idea, but with all of these people saying you need to be present in these kids' life and money ain't just enough, and you got to be there, you can see him attempting to do it. But he's like, man, I got 13 more years of this, 15 more years of this. He can't do it. He's doing the math. He says, what is he, in his 40s? He said, I got to do this until I'm 60, 55? No way. He knows he can't keep it up. And it's aging him, it's wearing his ass down. And he probably looking at his bank account going, damn, right? Bank account getting tore the fuck up, right? Even though these women don't have much child support, and there's a sense that he said that the more children you have in California, the less child support there will be. Yeah. All right, this is true, but that don't mean he ain't still paying for vacations and plastic surgeries for these girls, because that's what he's doing. Okay. So yeah, he's taking care of the children, but he's also taking care of the women. He's not telling them no when they ask for money. I mean, this is just me guessing. Okay. And that's just based on what I see. All right. Let me just see here. All right. So it's child support. It's his child support. All right. But these women are taken care of in a multitude of ways. All right. There's more than child support. And this woman loves him. She admitted that. I want him. She's in love with him. Where's her Instagram? Here it is right here. Let me scroll up. This woman wants a relationship. She wants to go on vacation. But yeah, all the flying around and flying to this and that and taking her on vacations and shit. Where's the other woman that had Nick Cannon in the profile? All right. Let's see here. I don't think this one did. It was the next woman. This one. Yeah, this one right here. Is this the other white woman? No, seems like a racially ambiguous one. Right here. Family pictures and shit and recitals, and we're all dressed in white. Come, we taking a picture. He getting worn out, bruh. He's taking care of these women. Bank account, he probably makes good money. I'm not saying, but that money is going out the door, all right, fast. And he probably don't need much of it, to be honest. But you don't think, and he's smashing these women still. He's also fucking these women still. Right, at least 3 of them, we know he's still smashing. Okay. But now you see the results. And he's got to do this for another 15 years. And he's like, I would have thought this through a little bit better. So again, it's hard to even defend it, right? I would love to defend Nick Cannon if he came out and handled this responsibly and said, yeah, I decided this and I love it and I'm going to see it to the end. That's not what I'm hearing from him. So that's an L. All right, let me continue.
And for whatever reason, I thought that was the answer. A lot of times it was like, oh, well, I'm gonna figure it out over here. I'm gonna figure it out over here, opposed to like, yo, now you're leaving trauma every step of the way.
Oof, this is, man, you're leaving trauma every step of the way. Boy, this, for divorced men, this is not what you want to hear from Nick Cannon. I was traumatized in my divorce, and listen, let's just say he's being honest. All right, what if you're a divorced man and you go out to the JUCO and you fuck it all? You a trauma response. This is going to be the new talking point. You thought that was the solution, to get young hot women and start knocking them up and go to the Philippines and go to Thailand and go to Colombia. It's just that you're traumatized. It's a trauma response to your divorce. All right. Wow. This is a shuffle, bruh. This is a mad dash shuffle. And look at his aging. You could tell it's on his neck.
Instead of, fixing it from its origin and then being able to present itself. But then like concepts like monogamy and stuff like that, I still feel the same way about that. I was going to
ask you, has your view on that changed?
Nah, not really. Not for me. And that, again, that's the work of, whether you want to go back to like Freud's process of like my childhood and my upbringing. I grew up in a very unorthodox situation and household, so I've always understood that love happens differently. So monogamy has never really been my thing, but so that I'm pretty sure that plays a part of it as well too.
I can do some shuffling too. Look out, man, what you gonna do? Look out, boys, it's coming through. Yeah, man, yeah, man.
This nigga just opened up. He just aired out all married divorced men. That's what the hell, man? You done fucked it up for everybody, Nick. You realize who you done fucked it up for? All the men, all the passport bros is on notice right now, nigga. We on notice. All right. All the free, everybody, all of us on our side, we fucked, bro. All right. You done just gave them a whole encyclopedia of shit to wear ass out on. They gonna be wearing our ass out on all this shit, bro. Man, just take responsibility. This dude sounds like a woman. Take accountability for your decisions. Take accountability on your decision making. That's what men do. But nah, let me check let me see if this nigga, now you shuffling on monogamy. Oh my God. Blaming your parents for being non-traditional monogamous. This is cooked. Come on. Trauma response from your divorce. Sigmund Freud. When I tell you this guy is, unfortunately, he plays both sides of the fence. He playing both sides of the fence.
So you think having all those kids?
All right, let me read this real quick. He explains having given the different situation. It says right here. He's given different explanations in the past on why he decided to have so many children, sometimes even cracking jokes about it. But this time, the 44-year-old made it clear his choices were connected to a few things, including coping with pain after his 2016 divorce from Mariah. All right. It was like I was acting out. It was more about being careless, being frivolous with my process because I could do it because I had money.
I got money.
All right. Translation, they stressing him the fuck out. It's pure irresponsibility. Nick, please. Therapy would have been much more cost effective. There's the therapy. I mean, I can't even help this situation, bro. This is bad. He looks like he got 12 kids now. Is it me, or did he just start looking old out of nowhere? Yes. He's attempting to avoid being canceled. Yes. All right, but what does that do? All right, right here, he's learning that now, 12 kids later, Lord have mercy. We have the Mr. Rogers clown. Took you 12 kids and mad broken families to realize that therapy would have been much cheaper. Those bags under his eyes tells me that these baby mamas is stressing him the fuck out. And all those kids and baby and birthdays, every time you turn around. So it says right here, ER visits, fevers, you name it. So it took you 40-something years to get some common sense. This person said bye after making 3 or 4 people. Due to carelessness, he would have stopped. He did it on purpose, and I agree. He needed to feel like a man again. This is them and laughing at him. By the way, Nick Cannon said as much. He said that. I needed to feel like a man coming out of my relationship with Mariah Carey. All right. She emasculated him, or he felt emasculated by Mariah Carey. Literally, all he had to do was 1, wear a condom, 2, snip him. He could have fun with no kids. Are we for real? For real. Our free agent lifestyle. Last one. This is defining a trauma response. A trauma response is a set of psychological, emotional, and cognitive reactions that occur after experiencing a distressing or overwhelming event. These reactions are designed to protect the individual from further harm. And then they go on to say, having multiple children with multiple women and intentionally creating many broken homes across the country is not a trauma response. Hope this helps. Okay. Okay. Where are all the he can afford it people? Yeah. See, you can't say that now. He takes care of them. He's there for them. He supports them. He's there. You can't use that argument now. You can, but obviously he doesn't feel that way, or he's not pushing that agenda anymore. I'll play the whole clip straight through, and then we'll do the super chats. Let's go.
It was a response to your trauma.
Yeah, 100. Now I'm learning that now. Yeah, and it wasn't like I was acting out. It was more of being careless, being frivolous with my process because I could do it, because I had the money, because I had the access to whoever and however I wanted to move. And, okay, they coming at me, they asking me, opposed to like doing the mature thing and saying, hey, well, it probably makes more sense to do this. And then obviously life happens as well. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna go have 12 kids. It was more about like, yo, I'm gonna just live life and have fun, and whatever happens, I can handle it. When it probably, being almost 45 now, I can sit back and be like, yeah, if I would have thought the process through a little bit more and took time to actually do the inner work, things might have been a little different in certain scenarios.
You wouldn't have 12 kids.
I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that's the only thing, because I've always said this, every child that I had was made out of love, and there were strong relationships. It's just, if I would have did the work and the healing after getting divorced, I probably would have took my time in a lot of other scenarios. And for whatever reason, I thought that was the answer a lot of times. It was like, oh, well, I'm gonna figure it out over here. Opposed to like, yo, now you're leaving trauma every step of the way, instead of, fixing it from its origin and then being able to present itself. But then like concepts like monogamy and stuff like that, I still feel the same way about that. I was going to ask
you, has your view on that changed then?
Nah, not really. Not for me, and that, again, that's the work of, whether you want to go back to like Freud's process of like my childhood and my upbringing. I grew up in a very unorthodox situation and household, so I've always understood that love happens differently. So monogamy has never really been my thing, but So that I'm pretty sure that plays a part of it as well.
Oh man. All right. Let me end it on that.